everyone, my name's Angel, and welcome to another episode of Erotically Challenged, your safe space for topics a little too awkward to bring up to your mom. Happy New Year, everybody! It is 2024. We've been talking a lot about self-love, self-growth, and kind of things that make us uncomfortable, but how you can use that uncomfortableness to become a better version of you. With that, today's topic is about something that I think every single person should have on their bucket list. Here is why I believe every cis woman should go to a male-centered strip club at least once in their life. We talk a lot about being comfortable, being uncomfortable. And what's really awesome about this generation is that we are very sex positive, we're very go you, we want people to be women supporting women, we got those hashtags everywhere, and as amazing that is, there's still some weird judgment or cloudy behavior kind of going on in the brain about true sexual positivity, mainly being people who are exotic dancers, or what it really means to be in a strip club, and whether or not it's okay for your partners to be going to one, for bachelor or bachelorette parties, and pornography. Is it okay to watch? Is it not okay to watch? A lot of people more modernly are saying like, yeah, I watch it and I watch it with my partner. However, some people are not. And some people like me are like, nope, I don't want to watch it and I don't want my partner watching it. That's a topic for a different day. However, because of some very funny, extraordinary experiences that I've had in my life, I think it is very, very important for every woman to go to a male-geared strip club. So I'm not talking about going to a male strip club, I mean a male-geared strip club. So one where you're going to be seeing women of all types dancing around on poles or just, going around escorting others, rather than seeing like Magic Mike on stage. One of the most common themes, I already said it, is getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And in this article from Very Well Mind, they have a whole section about how to get comfortable being uncomfortable and how it really helps getting your self-confidence up there. It gives you a little bit more of an open mind. It just has you be a little bit more firm in how to get over certain fears or going ahead and doing that next step, whether it be a promotion or if it's you having to confront something. Confrontation sucks. Well, all of that makes you uncomfortable, all that anxiety makes you uncomfortable. It's like, where is that rooted from? Well, the only way to get over it is by getting over it. So doing something that has a very low impact experience or a low impact rebuttal from your brain, those are definitely not the words I'm looking for, but having something that's not going to affect you, there you go, a low impact effect, whatever, of any situation. Going to a strip club isn't going to destroy your mental capacity. It's not going to get back to you. And if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want people knowing that I'm there, don't do it in your hometown. Do it somewhere else. It's a bucket list item. So where did I go see these strip clubs? In another country. I wasn't even in America. Nobody knew I was there until I was like, yeah, I've been to a strip club before. And they're like, oh my god, a male strip club? I was like, nope. And they're like, what the fuck? You? And I'm like, yeah, I did. One of the best things is that if you're getting really anxious about this and you're like, oh my god, I don't know if I should go, I'm not really comfortable around these things, or I'm nervous about how people are going to view me being there, well, for one, they're probably going to think that you're lesbian, and if you are, no harm done. And if you aren't, who friggin' cares? Also, nobody's there to see you. Nobody's there to see you. It is so important to remember that nobody there is thinking that you're gonna be there, they're all here to see the people on the stage, the people on the poles, the people in the back. There is no pressure about you being there, and I think it is awesome because it just means that you don't have to worry about that. And when you do, and then you realize that nobody's looking at you, then it just helps you out. Aside from you being comfortable being uncomfortable, which again, super important, I think that it is more important for you to see these other people to gain more self-love, to gain an appreciation for other women, to gain an appreciation of just the human body. And that's what really happened with me. So when you go, these exotic dancers come from all different backgrounds. They're all different heights, they're super tall, they're kind of short. They're all different weights. Some of them are a little bit more voluptuous, some of them are a little bit more skinny. I don't really like using the word skinny, but I'm very skinny, and so that's the only word I can say. I grew up people calling me that I was skeletal, all right? I just didn't want to say some of them are skeletal because that kind of sounds bad, but some of them are. Some of them remind me a lot of when I was growing up. However, like hearing people call me string bean and then seeing this very close to what I used to look like human look sexy as fuck on a pole, I'm like, damn, all these people were making fun of me. Well, she looked fucking great. And then you see people that are a little bit more curvy. And I grew up kind of at the cusp of where curves were like a good thing but not a good thing, and it like depended on who I was talking to. Now it's like, hey, like, you be you. But before, and I'm sure a lot of us can relate, you wanted to be like that early 2000s, like skinny mini, but didn't have any curves, and then suddenly it was like, oh, well, now you need to look like Kim Kardashian, and it's like, oh my god, I don't know what to do anymore. Well, I'm seeing people that are on the whole spectrum, and they all look freaking gorgeous, and they have the self-confidence beaming out of their body. It's going to make you feel better about yourself. It's going to make you feel better about the people around you. You're going to start realizing that, like, the human body is a human body, and if you're like me, and you're just uncomfortable with human bodies, that was my first time sitting back and just looking at women. Or anybody. I don't look at men either, but like that sounds different, but seeing these people with all these different backgrounds, it's going to shift your anxious or self-conscious view into a beautiful light. And it might not happen right away, but it is something that, for me, growing up very sheltered, very conservative, it did help me out. Just being able to be exposed by that without being nervous of people looking at me, without having to think that, like, it was like looking in a mirror in the best way. And then it was also being able to appreciate the people that didn't look like me. And it was like, okay, all of these body types are beautiful. I don't have to conform myself to what social media is trying to push in my face, to what I see on the billboards, which thankfully billboards are slowly becoming more and more inclusive on different shades of skin, different types of bodies, different genders, all of the above. Like, it's great to see that, but sometimes you're just getting sucked into what you're supposed to look like, that seeing real humans outside of Photoshop is so freaking important, because it's really going to just boost your self-love if you think of it like that. Like, you got to go in with an open mind, which brings us from point 1, being comfortable with being uncomfortable, to point 2 of you're going to be you're coming back from point 1, being comfortable being uncomfortable, to bring you to point 2 of where you're going to be appreciative if you keep an open mind and you're reflecting. As weird as it is, it's like, I want you to go to the strip club and just reflect on yourself. Just be open and just be ready and prepared to see women slowly becoming naked, and some of them are fully topless, some of them are not. Some of them are fully clothed, some of them like to strip tease. It's this whole thing, and it's like, I'm not asking you to go so that you're more comfortable with your mans going or anything like that. I'm saying go because if you are someone like me who is struggling with self-worth, self-love, my body image, seeing all of these different women who, you know, where their confidence is coming from. Everyone starts somewhere. So many people who are dancers or escorts, like, none of them started off confident. It was a skill that we've talked about over in episode 2 and 3. It's a skill that you have to build and learn, and once you're there, like, the sky's the limit. But it's still something to where we're constantly going to get scrutinized, we're constantly going to get judged, no matter how confident you feel about what you're saying, doing, looking. It doesn't matter. So you have to be okay with other people looking at you like that. So going to a strip club, going to a spicy location, going anywhere, going to a drag club, go to a drag show, and you're gonna start seeing all sorts of different people and characters, and it's like, what the heck are you even nervous about? If you're nervous going to a drag show, and then you see all of the love and support that everybody in that community goes to, you're gonna feel better going the next time. You're going to feel better about how you look and how you dress because they love everything about everyone. And you can always ask for pointers, because when I went to a strip club, we just talked like normal humans, me and the dancers. And I was like, you're like a real person. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, that's fantastic. Like, just realizing that people are people is so important. You're going to end up feeling so much more self-love. And that is key to why I think everyone should do this. All right, so I have mentioned this whole episode that I went to one. I went to the strip club. I went to this place. It was in a different country. So let me just tell you a little bit about it, because I think it's a funny story. And if you check out here, then you check out here. It's fine, guys. So this is before I started modeling. So if you've seen my other episodes, I already kind of gave a freshness about how I was in Thailand, and I met a photographer, and that was my first time taking photos. Well, this was roughly, it was in the same timeline, because I was still in Thailand. It was after I'd taken my first photos, but I was still super uncomfortable with myself, super uncomfortable with my body, did not like being around women at all, which was funny because I was in a sorority. And I was like, girls freak me out, but like, I love them anyways, and it was very weird. Way, way before I came out as being pansexual and like anything like that. Like, I did not, naked humans freaked me out. I scared myself in the mirror. Didn't even like looking at myself getting dressed. I didn't look at myself getting dressed because I hated it. I hated the whole thing. Go to Thailand. I meet this really cool Czech girl, and if you're watching this, hey! If not, that's okay. So she's like, let's go clubbing. And so I'm like, yeah, sure. You know what? I've been in the clubs here. Everyone's Russian here. I was in Pattaya, which is very Russian for some reason. And I was like, let's do it. So we're walking down, we're going into dance clubs, and we're having a good time. And then she's like, let's go into like the strip clubs. And I was like, and she's like, come on, like, we're in Thailand. No one even knows that you're here. We can go in, and if you hate it, we can go out. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. I'm like holding her hand. There's two of us, and like, I was like, oh my gosh. We go in. I got like an orange juice. I was like, I'm just gonna have orange juice, please. And I'm looking, and it's like really bright, and I'm like, this is so freaking awkward. But they were really nice. I went in, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go now, thank you. And then we go into this other place. And I know I'm saying it like it's so weird, but it's like a huge strip. In Pattaya, there's like a whole strip of just like clubs and dance clubs. Clubs and like dance clubs, you know what I'm saying? So people over there, they don't dance. So a lot of it was like exotic dancers, because other people, they just didn't dance. They just sat and they watched everything. Even if you went to the dance clubs, no one danced. I was like the only one dancing. And I was like, what? It was like, do people not dance in other countries? Like, what's happening here? So it was very funny, I guess. But we go into this strip club, right? We go into this exotic, spicy club, and I'm sitting there with her. We get a drink. We share it because we're like, well, we don't get it trashed in case we leave. And I'm watching this girl who's fully dressed just start undressing. And to me, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, she's getting naked. But as I'm watching, I'm just kind of like enthralled. Like, I'm like, oh. And I could feel everything just getting more relaxed. I'm just watching. I did look around a little bit, and like all these men were there, but no one was like, some people were watching the show, some people weren't. They had escorts everywhere, and they were Thai escorts, so if you were to come in and you were like a lonely man or a man that had a lot of money, you would just have a woman who would accompany you. But it wasn't sexual. Like, they literally were just there to accompany you. They would laugh a little bit. It was so funny. They would laugh a little bit. They'd try to get you to get something to drink. Didn't even matter if you spoke the same language. Didn't even matter. They're like, oh, yeah. And they're like, get a drink. Whatever. They're not drinking. They're working. And they're just literally sitting there. And then when it's time to go, they would walk them out. And they would just walk the next guy in. So it wasn't even sexual. They were literally just being there, like, as like a womanly support, which was like the first thing that I saw, because I was like, oh, it's like, how interesting. I just didn't know. And then I turned my attention back to the show. I'm looking at the show. This woman is naked. Well, she had like panties on, but she was like pretty much all naked. And I was like, okay. She's going around dancing through the crowd. She's a little bit of a curvier woman, And I was just like, damn, she can freaking move. She's working the crowd. She looks completely different from me. And she, at the time, looked completely different from what I thought sexy was, right? Because, like, we're going back to social media standards. This was already past the time of Kim Kardashian, so, like, having curves was in. But, like, being skinny was out, but I was skinny, so I was like, I don't know what to do here. So I'm looking at this woman. She looks nothing like me. She looks fantastic, though. She's dancing fantastic. She's got confidence. Well, she goes in the back. She gets dressed. Another person comes on. Completely opposite in physique, right? And I'm like, okay, well, now I'm watching this woman. I'm watching her dance around. I loved the pole. I've never actually seen pole dancing in person, so this was like, wow, this is impressive. If you guys watch, if you guys pay attention to anything that I post on some of my channels, I have pictures of me on a pole, and I was like, damn, look at those shoulder and back muscles. But then other than that, I look like I have no idea what I'm doing, because joke's on me, I have no idea what I was doing. So aside from that, so I'm watching these girls, and I'm watching these performers, and I'm having a great time. I'm sitting there with my Czech friend, and she's having a great time, and we're like, wow, I can't believe that, like, I was so nervous and uncomfortable stepping in here. Who comes up next to me? The first girl that I watched. She starts speaking to me in Russian, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know. And she's like, oh, English? And I was like, yeah. She's like, American? Yeah. Oh, well, that's so cool. What are you doing here? Starts talking to me like a normal person. She's in her little costume. She's all like dressed up and stuff. She looks great. And I'm just there. And I'm talking to this girl, and I'm like, so how long have you been doing this? Oh, I've been doing this for like 5 years. I'm like, oh, here in Thailand? Yeah, I've been doing it here. I also did it back at home, but then I came here, and like this is just happened. Like everyone does this, or they do other things, and it's very well known here. We're a great family, a great community, and no one gets disrespected. And I was like, I would have never known. My strip club experience was GTA 5, where things happened in that game, and also a bunch of people were like, or you know what I mean? Like, it's GTA 5. So I was like, wow. I was like, you're a normal person, and you're super sweet, and you're not treating me with any kind of difference because I'm not a man and I'm not shoving money anywhere, And that was like needed. Like, I needed to have a normal interaction with a person there who was a dancer, because as a performer, I thought that she wouldn't look my way, because why would she? Of course, yeah, I was there with another woman, so maybe, but like, I thought for some reason that they would never want anything to do with me because I'm not their crowd. Well, that's not true. First of all, she treated me like a normal human. We had a wonderful conversation, and then I was like, yeah, this is my first time. She's like, oh my gosh, enjoy the show. Again, pleasant, happy, had nothing to worry about except for what I thought I had to worry about. And now I have a really funny story that I get to tell everyone I go home. I got to experience just something that was so simple, but also opened up my heart to just being okay, being around people in a different light, as well as being okay with my own sexuality that was growing. And honestly, at that moment when I was like, wow, they're beautiful, should have probably lit that freaking light bulb, but that's fine. And then on top of that, I also started looking myself differently. I looked in the mirror and I saw these women. I started dressing with lingerie for boudoir back in episode 2. And I was like, wow, like, I look great too. Why am I so worried about like what other people are thinking? Because obviously there is no type. There's a type, everyone has a type, but there's no perfect type. The media will say what it wants, it doesn't matter. I saw all of these different women rocking their stuff, and every single man and woman, it was just me and the other girl, but every single man and us women were like enthralled by their performances, were excited by their performances, and like they went home with hopefully enough money for the evening, but like no one had a bad time. So why am I so nervous about how I look, and why am I so judgmental on myself when obviously the confidence is from within? And like women supporting women has always been a thing. So why are people so judgmental about these performers? Why are people so angry that these women are doing what we do best, which is look damn fine? No, I'm kidding. But why are these people like judging these people who are just taking advantage of what is so natural? That's something that just like, it's really eye-opening to go and meet these women who are just normal people and who are beautiful, who learned how to dance or move with what is around them in their environment. They are great crowd workers. They know how to go on a pole, which is so much harder than it looks, because it's not just grabbing it and swinging around. It takes arm muscles. It takes strategy, for one. It takes flexibility. It takes legs. It takes core. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is like hard, and I can't even just hold myself up. So, and then you have to look good while doing it. So these people are incredibly skillful in what they're doing. Like, why is there so much hate around this subject? Or why is it still so taboo? And then I don't really know if I would be okay with my partner going all the time, right? But that's because I don't like my partners to watch pornography. So obviously I don't really want them looking at other people in that sensual manner. But at the same time, I enjoyed myself a lot. I was like, I like being here. I like watching these beautiful women, and I was just drinking. And I was like, maybe this is what they see in the movies. And I was looking around, and nobody said anything disrespectful. I was like, damn. It's like what I see on the media, what I hear about on TikTok, and what I see in like video games is not accurate at all. And I think it's putting this gray cloud over it still, unfortunately. But you know what? I really enjoyed my time. I think that everybody should do it at least once. And if you don't like it, whatever. But it's definitely something to where it's a great story, and hopefully it'll give you a little bit more love inside when you look at that mirror. Because too many of us, men, women, everything in between, look in the mirror and just judge ourselves more than other people judge us. And then we listen to the judgment from others, and now we're back at square one. So have a little bit of fun this year. It's 2024. Go and do something crazy. Go to that strip club. If you don't want to do it in your own town, don't do it. You don't have to go across the country or visit another country. Just go to like 3 towns over, you know? And if you see someone that you know, laugh about it. If you're like, oh God, I'm embarrassed, laugh about it, because they're there too. So what the heck? Why are you embarrassed? They're literally there too. And maybe they're there for other reasons. I don't friggin' know. Go do something crazy. Like, these people are there just doing a job and hopefully looking good, feeling good, and getting confident out of it. So don't judge yourself. Don't judge others. Just go do something silly. And then if you like it, you're welcome. If you hate it, don't do it ever again. If you enjoyed watching this episode, please give it a like, share it on Facebook, comment something, you know, get that algorithm going. Look at my other socials if you'd like, which of course is acute_angle_2680. Or you can just go to my channel and look at any of my links. I got my whole link tree on there. I'm really just thankful for any of my supporters, and of course you guys mean a lot to me, especially the ones that make themselves known, because then I know that I'm doing something right. So if you love it, if you hate it, give me some feedback, tell me which direction you want things going in, and if you have any questions, hit me up. You guys know. So thank you again for everyone who is listening and watching, just kind of being here. Never miss an episode. Go ahead and subscribe, click the little bell, and other than that, peace out, much love, and have a great day, everybody.